Okay, I wanted to take this moment. I haven't been doing this a lot. If you've ever clicked the link and seen my YouTube videos, I do comedy on there, comedy aka my miserable dating stories. But I also sit here and I also teach not only common sense but spiritual practices and realizations and what I'm going to call downloads that I get. Okay, today, and especially from a child's viewpoint, I wanted to explain perception versus reality. Okay, here we go. I'm going to flip this around. I'm going to show you what I've drawn because I find visual aids are very helpful. So what I wanted to show is here the perception of a given person, especially if this is that, usually of a child. But I mean, adults, if we don't change and realize and become aware of things, then you continue the same pattern. Okay, so say this is a child, right? Here they are. They've got all of these things going on in their head. Okay, and what they perceive, so this is the child's perception, what they perceive is when they're coming, say for instance, to an adult, right? They're perceiving that the adult has nothing going on, right? That they're just going to come and that they're just going to express whatever they need to express from this adult, and that this adult is just going to get what they're saying, give them all the attention in the world, and give them every single thing they need. Now, why do they normally have that perception? Because when you're a child and you're a baby and you're crying, etc., normally what happens is normally as soon as you have a need, the adult meets it. So as you start to get older, you're still in that patterning of being, say for instance, a baby, and what's happening is you're still thinking, okay, I've got a need, the adult needs to meet it. I got a need, the adult needs to meet it, because, this adult doesn't have anything going on, right? So this, again, is your perception. Now, as I said, if you do not heal, grow, learn, become aware, etc., even when you go into adulthood, some people are going to still have that perception that they are the only people that have things going on, and that nobody else does. So that as soon as they have something, a need that they need to discuss, it's one of these things that, it has to be met. But what I'm here to show you is that the reality, okay? So reality is, whether this is a child, adult, whatever, you have all of these things going on, but you're coming to somebody else and this person has their own stuff going on. All of this stuff. Maybe they have more. Maybe they have less. Maybe they have whatever. Maybe they have the degree of whatever they can handle. So that doesn't necessarily mean when you come and you're like, oh my God, hey, you know what? I've got this urgent need right here. I've got this right now. I need to then come to this person, and this person right here needs to help me, needs to drop everything, needs to do whatever I need to do, needs to talk to me, whatever it is. This person can't necessarily fulfill that and do that for you because they too have other things going on, okay? So the point being is just to remember and be aware that although you have this need, right? Maybe they have this need, and maybe they have this need, and maybe they have this need. Maybe they have all of these needs, but they're not necessarily coming back to you to get these needs met, fulfilled, or whatever. Maybe they're dealing with all of that on their own. And then when you're coming with your stuff, they can't handle it. Like, where are they going to put this other thing now that you're giving them, right? Like, maybe they just don't have that room or that mental capacity in order to be able to handle it and help you. Okay? So I just wanted to take a moment and explain that. I'll back up. I'll show you the little diagram. Obviously, I'm not using my artistic skills at this point in time, but just so that you get some general awareness, because sometimes we get so trapped in what's going on in our own world, that we forget that whoever we're going to has their own world, because we're still seeing it like this, like that they've got nothing going on. You know what I'm saying? So that is where communication comes in not only handy, but communication, understanding, having that conversation. Like, hey, you know what, person XYZ, you know, this person here, they're like, hey, you know what, person, I really need some help right now. Or I really need somebody to talk to. Or I really need whatever it is their need is, and they communicate it to this person. But sometimes this person now can say, hey, you know what? I've already got this, and I've got this, or I've got this, or I've got whatever. And honestly, I am at full capacity. My cup is full. I cannot take anything more right now. I would love to help you, but I can't help you right now. Let me help myself, and maybe they get rid of this one, and then they can help you. So that's where it's so important to have that communication, to have that talk and be open with it. And, you know, I'll give you an example that literally I just went through this with a girlfriend of mine, and I needed some assistance at the time. And I loved the fact that instead of telling me a story or giving me an excuse or just avoiding me, whatever, she was big enough to say, hey, you know what? I've got enough going on right now. I honestly can't take on anymore. And respectfully, I said, and I appreciate you addressing that, and let's have that conversation. Because I've been in instances where somebody was not open and honest and available with their communication, and therefore it caused an issue because of the way they handled the situation and the way my triggers that I have reacted to what they said and how they handled the situation. So somebody that I was friends with for over 20 years, we're not necessarily communicating at this point in time. And it is because of how the situation was handled. In my opinion, and what I value and what I hold true to me, the situation was not handled how I would treat somebody. So therefore, I just wanted to remind everybody of that. I wanted to give that little diagram. I wanted to get that off my chest. I will hopefully save this, and I'll post it to my YouTube so that you can watch it later. But for now, I'll post it to IG. So I hope that helps somebody somewhere.